And welcome to the Cross Canada Comedeorological Report with Frankie MacDonald, Joey Only Myself, and Dylan ATACK, now broadcasting on 88.7 CFUR FM in Prince George. We're so stoked, and we got people from across Canada.
If it is rainy and it is snowy, you can watch Frankie and Joey. This week we're back with Dylan ATACK, Wendy McDonald, football legend Dennis McKnight, Ronnie Grigg from a homeless camp in Vancouver, Comedeorologist Uriah Wesman, David Roy Parsons, Weatherman Brandon Houck, Weatherman Gabriel Berardo, Joe Stover, Pete Galanko, Brandon Hames, and my mom.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
All right, Frankie MacDonald, what's going on in Nova Scotia?
Right now it's cold, but it's clear breaks outside. It's cold and breezy outside, but it's cold. It was raining earlier in the week and drizzling and showers all week by the lingering low pressure system in my area on Easter Sunday and things like that. Clear skies for the first time today in a long time.
Yeah, same here, although it's not going to last. There is no sign of hope in Wells. Well, next week, actually, it's supposed to get kind of warmer. So, hey, we're a radio show now. What you can't see can't hurt you. Comedeorological Report, your place to complain about how awful the weather is in Canada. The Environment Canada station in Calumet burned down this week. I don't know what happened to it. Now that it's burned down, we'll have no way of knowing how cold it is up there, if it's cold or not. This is Gabriel Berardo, who's a weather enthusiast in Southern Ontario. What's going on in Southern Ontario right now?
Right now it's Southern Ontario. Then it got lots of showers coming in Southern Ontario this weekend.
You're right, Frankie. You're right. Look at the radar. You're right, man. Later on, it actually has been warm here lately, hitting highs into the mid-20s, actually. It actually has been warm here lately. Summer-like weather, guys. It's just been nice. And, yeah, I mean, look, man. Got outside, right? Had some fun, maybe, right? Watching for this line of showers and storms as a front is expected to be, of course, moving through later on. And then I think we actually are more and more fronts moving in Friday and everything. Saturday, though, Saturday's also looking nice. 20 on Saturday, and then I think we cool down a lot heading into next week, and I don't like that. Okay, but weather's weather. It is what it is.
How about you, Dylan ATAC?
I've been biking lots. It's been great weather. Actually, tonight I saw a fox up at the golf course, which was cool.
What did it say to you?
Fox said, "What did the fox say?"
I think it's more like summer here in Southern Ontario. That's exactly what the fox said. Trust me on that.
We got weather enthusiast Brandon Houck. He's down in southeastern BC. There's been a little bit of thunderstorm activity, but not much there today. Brandon, what's going on with the weather? What's going on with you?
Well, actually, I'm in southern Alberta, location Brooks, Alberta.
I love that area.
But I do cover weather in southeastern BC for the radio stations out there. But today it's been a bit of a wonky day in the province of Alberta. We had basically some thunderstorms in the far southeastern corner of the province, so a couple lightning strikes here and there, and we also had some snow showers and rain showers across the province and a bit of snowfall just to our north. We kind of had a bit of rain and even a little bit of mixed bag of snow mixing in as well, so a bit of a cooler day today, but we're going to warm right back up again tomorrow, up to about, I'd say about 14 degrees, so teen temperatures again, and then as we carry on into the weekend, we deja vu again for Saturday showers, thunder showers, cooler conditions, but looks like we got a pretty nasty winter event looming for next week in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. What I see for next week, a pretty good snow event, much colder temperatures, especially for Saskatchewan, Manitoba, temperatures below freezing. Yeah, it's not looking, well, it's really good for agriculture. It's been really, really dry so far this spring, so this is kind of beneficial for farmers and ranchers in
Already
Saskatchewan
been-
and Manitoba.
Already been some wildfires actually not so far from you.
Yeah, we had one bad one that was about last week or so near Claire's home, and then or 2 weeks ago near Claire's home, and then a couple other ones, and then today near Regina they had a big fire just outside of the city too. So fire risk is up pretty high to extreme.
The one outside Claire's home actually burned down my old friend Malcolm McLean, several of his barns and buildings on his property. So a cowboy who I've gone cowboying with. We'll come back to you, and I want to just kind of cycle through everybody quickly. Because what's sort of special is I've never had my mom on a radio show before, I don't think. Mom, how's it going north of 7 in Ontario? How's the weather there been? You know that Ontario's been kind of warm.
We do have the spring papers out. It is beautiful here in Ontario. And I know you can hardly see me because I'm sitting in the porch in Cooper, Ontario, which is the only place that I actually have internet service. And I can hear the spring peepers, and it has been gorgeous here. The big storm they predicted last weekend never happened. If I had the lights on, my snowbank finally melted today.
Nice.
So it is officially spring.
Officially driving on the muddy road to get to the Cooper Highway.
The potholes, the bump, the crater, and sign says, bump here about every 4 feet.
Let's rush down to Virginia Beach. Peter Galanko, are you there? How's the weather been in Virginia?
The other week it was, we had days where it felt like it was almost like summer again, and then it dropped right back down to 40s for a day. We've had some days in the mid 50s up to like lower 60s more recently, and the other week though we had some consecutive days in the 70s, which was lovely. That we had a little bit of a cold flash, and but it's been generally clear skies. The ocean was super calm the other day.
What you have right now is summer weather compared to what I have outside my window. Wells, BC still has the largest snowpack of any incorporated town in Canada. There's only one more person we haven't said hi to who's on the call yet. David Roy Parsons down in Vancouver. How's the rain been?
As just at Spartacus Bucks.
Hey, sorry, I have to interject. Hi, David, it's Allie.
How are you?
I'm great. Love you, bud.
Love you too. Oh yeah, they knew you, Joey. They had a CD from 2010 in there.
One that still hasn't sold in their store, probably.
They had a couple. They thought this was really cool. I'll do it from there one day.
And our final Comedeorological correspondent who's not in the studio with us today or on the Zoom call, Uriah Wesman, stand-up Comedeorologist Uriah Wesman.
Hey, this is Uriah Wesman reporting live. There's a bunch of stuff going on, but I don't know what it is because there's a green screen behind me, you moron. But I'm in Jaffrey, British Columbia, Canada, and guess what? It's been raining, hailing, sunny, rain, hail. That's all in one day. I mean, like, make up your mind. What are you, my ex-girlfriend? Welcome me back. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. What the hell? Cloud, sunny, cloud, please take me back. And whoever told you it was going to be cloudy with a chance of meatballs, that guy's a liar. Did the weatherman tell you it was supposed to be sunny outside, so then you put all this effort into doing a picnic on the golf course for a 1-year anniversary for your girlfriend, and then when you tell them, hey, we have a picnic, and they say it's gonna rain, I'm like, what the hell, man? How do you sue the weatherman? Rain, sunny, clouds, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna be kicked out of my house if I don't get the rent. I mean, come on, Dad, it's been 2 days, I need the rent. You see that storm cloud? That's not a real storm. That's just what happens when you look into my credit history. It's not good. It's not good. How many times can a weatherman get the weather wrong till they're right? I mean, like, come on. How do you get this job? Do you go to school? Or you just look outside? Do you look outside? I mean, I looked outside and then I saw my girlfriend with another guy doing a picnic. I mean, what the hell? That was supposed to be my picnic.
So look up Uriah Westman's YouTube. Dude is super funny. Brandon Hames. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Want to check in with Brandon Hames right quickly? He's in Quesnel. Hey, Brandon. How's the weather and how's your trucks?
They're still sitting.
Nice looking truck. Tell us about what you do.
I drive trucks. That's basically my whole career. I just drive.
Wow. So you see a whole spectrum of weather in a day.
I mostly drive around Wells, actually.
Okay.
Right in Joey's neighborhood.
Have you ever been to
Yeah.
Yatusk, Russia?
Me?
Yeah.
I've never been to Russia.
What about you, Frankie? Have you been to Yatusk, Russia yet?
Not yet. That's where Bolat Baccarat lives.
Where are you gonna go?
Real soon now, we're going to every country in the world. So many countries, including South Pacific Islands like Fiji, New Caledonia, Vanuatu, French Polynesia, and all these places in Australia, New Zealand, and Mozambique, Madagascar, and Mauritius Islands, and La Reunion Islands, and all those isolated tropical Pacific islands in Argentina, Falkland Islands, things like that.
Frankie.
Wow, holy places.
Please note that's south of Prince George. And Smithers, British Columbia, that's where Denise Delaney lives in Smithers, British Columbia, west of Prince George. That Yellowhead 16 takes you all the way to Prince Rupert, then a highway Hawaii. That's a Highway 60 in massive British Columbia.
When you come
And then
into
we
Wells.
have another McDonald in the room. My friend Wendy McDonald from Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
Where I live.
Wendy McDonald's. Wendy's or McDonald's? I don't know, man.
Let's go, Wendy.
I'm just joking.
We still can't hear her or see her now, apparently. So eventually, maybe she'll show up. What about South America, Frankie? You been to South America yet?
Not yet, including Colombia, Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, Bolivia, Peru.
What about Central America?
Guatemala, and all these countries. And I've never been to International Space Station yet. I've never been to Space Hotel yet. It's going to be completed later on in the decade.
Yeah, you know what? I've never been to any of those other places either, but when you decide to go, I can climb in your suitcase, okay? It's Joey's mom, and I'd like to come with you.
What about,
if you want to travel?
Yes, Indonesia and all these countries. Malaysia, Philippines.
Oh, yeah, I'm there.
What are you going to do when you get to all these countries, Frankie?
Performing on stage, people have to pay at the box office to go see me on stage, dancing on stage, giving speeches, doing comedy skits on stage. Even developing countries in Africa too.
Even dictatorships?
Even dictator countries. But you have to perform on stage there. They have to be extreme careful when you go to those countries.
Well, you're right. You're very right, because there's a lot of different rules on in those countries. You're right, Frankie.
Yeah. A lot of different rules of like the virus and everything. Yeah, it's true. Maybe it has to be after like the virus, I think. Like, yes, I think that he will like be able to travel when this is all over, because as of right now,
Not
it
only
ain't
once, but multiple times. Unlimited times, not only once. World tour, unlimited time.
Yeah.
Really, every time any new country, yeah, you have to be a little more careful.
Some of those countries you can't say words like turd.
If you're a performer and you're in an authoritarian country and you're a performer of some kind, right? Like a comedian, you have to.
But
you can't say words about feces or anything.
Then, yeah, you can get in trouble. Even when I was little, I went to Holland and I got in trouble because I went outside of the house with my hair wet in a towel. You don't do that in Holland. How would I know? So everybody has different kind of social rules about what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy, eh? You got like in trouble for that by like who though? Like who'd you get in trouble by? Like the police? Like what is there?
For example, if somebody offers you weed at home, it's probably not a big deal. If you're somewhere else and you don't know, it's probably best not to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
Some of these countries, yeah, if you smoke weed, then they'll look at you funny. So you got to be careful of that. Be prepared.
In China, no smoking weed at all in China. They don't take kindly to any recreational drugs really in China.
Frankie, I have to bow out of that part. Any country where I can't
there's
smoke
lots
weed.
and lots of countries that you can't have drugs.
Well, I'm not going to any of those countries.
Yeah, it's true. Canada, I think, is fine with weed. I think like you have to be over like 18 years old, like to smoke it. I think, but it's like, but it's legal here, up over here in Canada.
Let's get back to Brandon Houck in southern Alberta there, and just want to hear sort of your story about how you became a weather guy.
Well, basically how I became a weather guy. Well, I actually started at a really young age. as of 8 years old. And that was after flying into a thunderstorm on an airplane going into Dallas, Texas there. And that was a wild trip, I have to say. That was probably the wildest trip ever. But luckily I was a young age, so I thought it was a fun roller coaster ride, but it wasn't. But as time went on, as I got to about 8 years old, I became fascinated with weather. I started doing my own forecasting, and also, what else? Doing my own forecasting, pretending to be a weather guy in front of a map, as always. And then I started getting into the social media thing at about in junior high school, and I started making all these social media posts, mostly locally. Now it's internationally. And then I, about just a couple of years after I graduated, I got into the radio, and I haven't stopped yet on the radio. And I've expanded my broadcasts across, basically from coast to coast across Canada. And continue to expand and work my way up the ladder.
That is super cool.
On the Twitter at Hocus Pocus, so my last name you see on the screen.
Twitter.
And put a Pocus at the end, and then on Instagram at the Doppler Boy, and Facebook I just my regular name Brandon Houck there.
How about you, Gabriel?
My turn for that, right? My turn for the question. Yeah. So basically, right? I've always liked the weather, right? Even at a young age also, right? Like when I was in grade 4 and 5 and 6, right? I was like, everybody see me as this young weather man saying, oh man, look at the winds, look at the skies, holy crap. So for swearing like that, but I don't think it's that bad if I swear that much, but yeah, okay. Right, and I was just looking up, and it was like, wow, I mean, right, I was just, fascinated, right? And then I think I got Instagram, and I think 2015, the late, it was either in 2015 or 2016, right? Posted a photo of my weather station, right? And it was actually my first post, right? Everything since then, right? I started to post photos of me, right? Captioning the weather outside, right? And then I eventually started to make my own videos, right, and everything leading up to all this weather stuff, right? I got to actually meet a few people. I got to meet Mark Robinson. I got to have a free tour at the Weather Network, which was also great because I got to meet who was she again? Michelle Mackey. I think you guys know her. She's this meteorologist, right? I got to meet her. I have a few photos with her, and I was just amazed of what you have to kind of do there and everything, memorizing the forecast. And I'm I gotta be famous now. I just met her, Michelle Mackey. I just met her now, right? I gotta be famous now. After that, right, I got a free weather bag. I actually could show you guys it right now. I got this whole entire weather bag full of all the Weather Network stuff, blankets, mitts, gloves. I got this little toy here. I also got this weather meter thingy, and I got almost everything from them. I got this keychain too. I got almost everything from them, guys. Cool. I got a fan, and then I guess ever honestly since I've got all that, right, started to make my videos, right. Sometimes I actually rap the weather and everything. Well, that's what makes me different out of all, of course, the other weather people, right? And then I think I've seen a lot of strange weather events here in Ontario, man. The weather is just different, right? You could get storms in November now. Last November, it was actually 25 degrees at one point actually in November. Storms too and everything. I've also seen a few funnel clouds. That was also fun. And I have just seen a lot of storms in my life that there's a lot to talk about there, but let's just, go on to someone else now because I'm just gonna take too
Can you see?
Were you gonna tell us your social media handles to follow you on?
Basically, my social media is Gabriel Berardo, like the same exact on all accounts too. Like Twitter is GB the Weatherman. Instagram is just Gabriel Berardo, and then I think Facebook is also Gabriel Berardo. TikTok I have, but that isn't really weather related.
For our radio listeners, Gabriel, by the way, you're tuned into 88.7 FM CFUR, the Comedeorological Report. You're a young weather phenom, Gabriel. Tell everyone how old you are.
I'm almost 18, 17 years old right now, right? Started, I think, Instagram when I was either 13 or 14 years old, right? And then I just started making all these videos, right? Like I have at least 4,000 to 5,000 videos all in those few years. And it was like funny, right? Like I just like to post it, right? I got on like the weather before 680 News.
Can you give us a version of one of your weather raps before I pass it to Dylan to introduce the next guest?
Right now, man, I've been looking outside. Southern Ontario, all I see is sunny skies. Everybody really but try to stay advised. Looking at the clouds, raising all my brows. Looking at me right now, I've been screaming loud. Everybody gotta head outside into the playground right now because it's all sunny and fun. Just get it done. I am really looking outside. Look at everybody right now. See it. Head outside right now, and yes, you gotta be it. Sunny skies, man, you gotta see it. Okay, you know what? But get on to Dylan.
So
Wendy, we can hear you now, right?
Thank you so much, guys.
Your story is beautiful.
Thank you.
Your story is beautiful.
We do have someone
so
coming on in a couple
welcome.
of minutes, so I want Dylan. Can you introduce our other guests here?
Yeah, Coach McKnight and my friend Wendy McDonald. Let's go with Coach McKnight. Coach McKnight, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you have your camera on?
Well, you know, I'm challenged a little bit technically, Dylan, and that last act is a hard act to follow. Not only can I not sing, I can't rap, I can't do anything. That guy was talented.
So, Coach McKnight, tell everyone who you are and where you played football.
I started. I played high school football in New York City. I was not very big or natural, you know, when I graduated high school in 77, I was like 6'2", 200 pounds. I mean, there was a million guys that big. I was all set to actually go to work at Eastern Airlines because nobody recruited me. And somehow our quarterback had sent a film to Drake University in Iowa. Long story short, they saw me, offered me a scholarship. I went sight unseen, no recruiting visit. Played there 4 years, had the time of my life, was voted to the all-decade team of the 70s and the 80s. So that was a huge honor for me. Signed with the Cleveland Browns. Was there for 5 preseason games, and then I got cut. Obviously, they didn't know what they were missing. So I sat out of football a year and was coaching and working on my master's degree. I flew to San Diego for a tryout, made it. Got an $800 signing bonus, and the rest is history. I made it and played 11 years in the NFL.
Nice.
Wow.
And then you came with the Ticats with me.
Yeah, no, I got into, coaching at the end of my career. I played with the Detroit Lions, and June Jones was the offensive coordinator. And we'd met, and, I had my own business when I retired. I owned car washes. So I was doing that, and then June took a coaching job at the University of Hawaii. He asked me to come, and the first time I stepped on a field and got to coach, young men and work with kids, I was hooked. So I sold my interest in the car wash and got into coaching, and coached at Hawaii, San Diego State, SMU. I had coached in Edmonton for a year in 2011. But I left, it was not a good situation. It was not a good staff, wasn't put together. And I respect the game too much to work. Well, yeah. Edmonton, the fans and the people there are nice, but the city looked kind of tired, like it just, it wasn't a city of champions, was it? An older city. I don't want to say nothing bad because I had a lot of friends in Edmonton, but
I love Edmonton.
Like I said, there's so many people that would keep coaching, even if they're coaching around people that are not good people. And I'm not one of those guys because I respect the game. So I quit. And then in 2017, I was in prison where I met Dylan, and we were actually cellmates. Oh, no, that was a different Dylan. I'm sorry, Dylan. No, I got it. I flew up to Hamilton and interviewed with Coach Austin at the time, and God, he had me on the board in the office for hours and hours, kind of quizzing me, testing me, but he gave me an opportunity. So you can say whatever you want about Ken Austin. The guy was a great football player. He's a great head coach. He has a hell of a track record, and he gave me a shot. So you're never going to hear me say anything bad about Ken Austin. Although he did yell at me a lot and curse at me, but hey, you know what? In the heat of battle, sometimes that happens.
Tell us about the time, about our time in the equipment office. How I put you to work, Coach McKnight.
Well, the one thing.
Tell us how you met Dylan.
Well, the one thing that's great about the CFL that a lot of people down here in the U.S. don't know, and I know there's a lot of talk and everything about the merger coming up, and I hope people in Canada don't get nervous, because I think The Rock, if there is stuff going on, his dad's from Canada. He's going to respectfully merger this together in a good way, I think. But the thing that makes the CFL special is the relationships, the people, the communities, the fans, the J-Box boy. I mean, the history is so deep. And the thing about the equipment managers, I don't think there's any professional league. You take, Drew and Hamilton and, my guy Danny in Edmonton, and the thing they do in the community to help out, and their assistants that they hire and bring in and help make a difference in people's lives. The legend that they had in Edmonton, Dylan's friend that passed away.
Joey Moss.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Moss was a legend. He's not in Dylan. He wasn't in Dylan's class. He's a world of his own. I mean, Dylan hangs out with worldwide dignitaries and stuff. Joey Moss was just a hard worker. I don't know how hard Dylan really works, to be honest. But Dylan was in the equipment room when I came in and was getting all my, coaching gear. And, Drew and the guys were working hard. And, of course, Dylan was napping on the couch in the office, and they woke him up to bring him out to introduce him to me. So, and we just developed a relationship because I'm an East Coast guy. That's why I think I just loved and blended in with Hamilton so well. I lived right there by the stadium, in the hood, in the neighborhood, and the people. I loved walking home after a Cat game and everybody's out, drinking and eating and having fun. Hey, coach, how you doing? And it's just, it's a great community. And, Dylan, I think, exemplifies what the CFL is all about, and I'm not just sucking up to him. He is really a, good guy. I mean, he don't work hard, but he's a good guy. And then, of course, there was our times where we would, always find time to go to Dairy Queen and get a Blizzard. Yeah, that's what they're called.
So Dylan, what did you think when you first met him? When you got
Coach
up
McKnight,
off
he was my favorite O-line coach of all time.
Oh, awesome.
He's my favorite O-line coach of all time.
Well, thank you, Dylan. And it was such a good community. I hated leaving there. But life has a way of coming around. I would hope that someday when I do end up coaching, I'm back in the Hammer, because the thing that makes Hamilton great is obviously it starts at the top with the caretaker. I mean, what he does, and then Scott Mitchell and, Berkey and Drew, and, it's not about money with them. It's about the people, and it's the brand, it's the logo, and Orlando's just a phenomenal freaking leader. It's just it's a great setup. So I hope this damn pandemic goes away. I hope everybody gets their shots. I had my first shot. I get my second one on the 16th of April. So now that I'm vaccinated, I'll be able to come across the border and visit, hopefully, when they start training camp.
Hey, Coach McKnight, I'm not sure if you knew that, but Frankie MacDonald is the best weatherman of our time. Frankie, show Coach McKnight your bobbleheads.
I got an action figure. Let's do a picture now.
Wow.
You know what?
Nice.
An action figure this type of big
All right,
deal.
everyone
Let's
say
take a
cheese.
snapshot.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Can I ask you?
Now, you know what you got to do, though, is go ahead and bite the bullet and shave that off the rest of the way. Bald is beautiful.
I'm going to do it with the book in that.
Yeah, that's true, man. Bald is beautiful. You're right. Well, I'll bald, but I'm fine.
Well, no, if I had as much hair as you do, I would keep my hair. But you know.
I have my good friend Ronnie Grigg, who's just come in from Vancouver, and he's at the homeless camp there. It's called Camp Hope, Homeless Organization for Prevention, Empowerment, and Survival. Ronnie, can you hear me?
Ronnie's outside. I can see him outside. Yeah, and that.
Yeah, I'm sort of
Ronnie
the
Grigg and I-
opposite of that bald conversation.
Awesome beard, brother. I love it.
Yeah, awesome beard. I was like, how do you grow that like for so long? Wow.
You're listening to the Comedeorological Report on 88.7 FM, CFUR, where people can't see your beard, but it's a good beard. Ronnie Grigg, we used to work together in Vancouver. You're the longest running worker at the Safe Injection Site. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and then about what's going on behind you.
Awesome. Good to see you, Joey. You look healthy and well. And I see you have I can't see everyone, but there's a big roster of people on. It's really cool to meet you. I want to say Frankie. I've been a fan for a long time. I heard a weather warning in Vancouver about 10 years ago, and I was prepared.
Or Typhoon Sanda.
Yeah.
In September 28th, 2013, before that.
Yeah. I think that was it, because it was super windy. And that's amazing that you remember that. But it's good to meet you, Frankie.
Nice to meet you.
And it's good to meet everyone else. I really like, my favorite comedy of yours is, Frankie, is the guy saying different kinds of food. I love that. I think it's so funny.
50 hot dogs once, my most viewed video ever on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's really great. It's really funny.
It was an epic video.
Yeah, good for you. Congratulations.
The latest comedy video I did on my YouTube channel, the guy dancing, then the guy dancing eating hamburgers, then being chased by giraffes.
Chased by giraffes. Oh my goodness.
And another comedy video I did is the guy dancing and eating hot dogs, then being chased by gorilla. Those are the last two comedy videos I did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Your comedy's great. It's really nice to meet you.
Crazy.
I'm at work now, and Joey put a little invitation out to his friends, and so what I do, I've been a long time frontline worker in Vancouver. Vancouver's known as a beautiful place, and sometimes it's known as a beautiful place with a really rough neighborhood. But I believe otherwise. I think this neighborhood is full of great people. A lot of people suffer, and some people suffer homelessness or substance dependency. So what's behind me, I don't know how well you can see it. I'm just kind of getting used. That's a camp.
How many tents?
How many tents? There's over 200 people living here.
Wow.
Exactly how many tents there are, I'm not sure, but it's quite a few. And what I do here is I support the running of an overdose prevention tent. So along with homeless,
good for you.
A lot of thank you. So I've done that for a long time, and they've asked me to come and help. So we set up a tent. It's just in the background there, a green tent, and there's a lot of great people in this camp who care about the experience of the other campers here. And some of them are going to join me to do weather reports. It was a beautiful day in Vancouver, and I wish I was in front of a cherry blossom, but I couldn't quite do that. That's what we do in Canada. We send pictures of cherry blossoms while people still have winter in other places. So, that's a Vancouver effect.
Well, and we send pictures of cats while people are suffering.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of community and a lot of joy. Like, a lot of people care for each other in the middle of some suffering, but undeniably this community suffered. But we try to make a difference whenever we can. I don't live here. I live a few blocks away, but I come down every night to make sure people are well trained, well supported. You
saved a lot of lives in your time, and I just love you. I got all teary-eyed just looking at you and hearing you talk. Tell us about the correlation of weather and homelessness, even in Vancouver. The effect of it.
Well, there's a lot there. Homeless counts are very, very high in Vancouver, and that could be for a number of reasons. One is that housing is super expensive here, but it could also be that people think the weather especially in the winter, is easier here because we don't have snow and sub-zero temperatures. But the rain and the constant dampness, I was in this park doing outreach, trying to get people out of the cold and wet and into tents. And by the next morning, the condensation inside their tents would make all their stuff as wet as if they slept outside. So the winters here are not easy. They're constant dampness, constant wetness. Grateful for a beautiful day, as many people are here. Yeah, and so I'll be here for sure for the next month supporting this ops. People don't know if they're going to be here in a month or if they'll have to move and go somewhere else. Hopefully there's housing and stuff like that for people. But yeah, a couple of guys are going to join me next week when I have better like equipment. There you go. Someone forgot their keys. Can you see that?
It's not for support, eh?
No.
Just make sure nobody's carjacked, stealing it. I mean,
Yeah,
good Lord.
no, I know him. I know him. Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to stay and chat, but I hope you don't mind if I just pop in and pop out, because this is work. Like, this is during my work hours, and it's with the blessing of the people in the camp that they think it's great to do a weather report from a tent city, and so they're in support of this, and we hope it's going to be a lot of fun
And
over
your
the next
union
couple
will
of
back
weeks.
you up. Your union
Well,
will back you up if you get caught.
Yeah.
Good to see you,
Yeah.
Ronnie. Thanks for coming on so much, man.
Yeah. Good to meet everyone.
Dylan, introduce us to Wendy.
Let's hear your backstory. Tell me and where you grew up.
I'm actually born and raised in Cape Breton, and I grew up just down the street from where Frankie lives. When I was about 16, my family moved to Southern Ontario, and I went back to Cape Breton for university. And at that point, there was an American Hockey League team in town called the Cape Breton Oilers, and they left, ironically, and came to work in. They came to play in Hamilton, and in year 2, I was fortunate enough to join their staff. So I worked with the Hamilton Bulldogs from 1999 to 2012, and that's where I had the great fortune of meeting Dylan and becoming friends with Dylan.
Wow, that's interesting, yeah.
Early into the pandemic, I was watching Frankie's reports and thought, hey, these two guys would be pretty cool friends, and was able to reach out to another friend and help connect Frankie and Dylan. And as everybody can attest to now, the rest is history, and they've become great friends.
Yeah.
And I consider myself very lucky.
So you did this.
Kind of, yeah.
It's all your fault, Wendy.
My good fortune to connect two great people.
Wendy, do you have any good stories of us at the Bulldogs together?
Oh, Dylan.
Oh, Todd, that would have put the Master Blaster. That would have loved that one.
Hey, we had a modified paintball gun that we would use for game day productions and launch submarine sandwiches into the crowd. So it was called the Master Blaster.
Yeah.
And Ken Dryden was with
What could go
St.
wrong?
John's Maple Leafs. Oh, yeah. Yeah, wait for it. So the Master Blaster launches and unleashes a submarine sandwich into the stand that just exploded on the wall behind his head. Well, for a guy who used to be a goalie, you would think he would have reached up and caught it. No. And also not a very funny man. He didn't find that the least bit amusing. We had to issue an apology the next day. It was epic, that's for sure.
It was worth If you're hearing this, Ken, you were a good goalie, but man, you're not funny. You can't come on the Comedeorological report.
Coach McKnight, you're in San Diego, right?
Yes, I'm struggling here in San Diego. The guy's talking about, weather in Vancouver. It's a nice day. It's a typical day here, sunny and 78.
Everybody, for a second, look out my window.
Oh man, you're in the snow. I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad for you. I feel bad.
Looks like good conditions for a dog
It's
sled.
just a long driveway. A long driveway.
That's a truck buried out there, and that's another 10 centimeters coming down.
Thankfully, I live in Southern Ontario, Canada.
Brandon, when's our bad weather going to stop in Wells? When are we going to get a break from this weather, Brandon? I hear it's going to get nice next week for us.
Yeah, you're going to see a high pressure next week, so The melt's gonna be on.
Dylan,
I was
have
gonna ask
you
you-
kept your weight loss? Have you kept your weight loss off?
Yes, I have.
Good for
60
you.
pounds. I've lost 60 pounds.
Hey guys, thought I'd introduce another guy named Ernat. He lives in Pakistan.
Pakistan?
Have you met?
Pakistan.
When are you gonna meet Ernot, Frankie?
Frankie's met Renat before. This
Have you?
Renat joined.
Ernat's a nice guy. He lives in Pakistan. That's in the other side of the world.
Wow.
What's the weather like this week there, Frankie?
The weather in Pakistan is gonna be, it's gonna be around the really warm conditions in Pakistan, even where Ernat lives. It's a summer-like weather where he lives, but it gets cold in the nights where he lives.
What about the tornado weather today? Anyone hear much about that?
They had some of the tornadoes in Alabama and things like that.
Where was that?
They get
Tennessee, I
hail
heard.
and things like that in the places in the States. They get large hail.
Oh yeah, I know, man. That's crazy. Wow,
That would be
crazy.
Coach McKnight, I can't wait to come down and have a beer with you in San Diego.
Well,
Mark
if you
Grant
can,
lives in San Diego. He's a big fan of mine. Mark Grant.
Oh yeah, the baseball pitcher.
Yes.
He's the announcer for the Padres games now. He does a great job.
Mark Grant's a nice guy.
Yes, he is.
You know, they're starting weather forecast for Mars, eh?
Are
That
they?
means, and Mars, there's going to be a lot of sandstorms up in Mars lately. It's going to bring a lot of sandstorms, but nobody lives up there. There's going to be a whole lot of intense sandstorms and dust storms up in Mars because they got their own atmosphere that doesn't have oxygen. Because people can't breathe on Mars. It's uninhabitable planet, but it breathes, then it blows the sand around. They got different type of winds up in Mars.
What's the weather like on Venus?
Venus is hot, and it's like a extreme hot weather that can melt any kind of metal.
They reported minus 20 on Mars yesterday.
Warmer than Kluglucktuck, where our friend Gabriel's been.
Saturn's moon Titan, it rains liquid nitrogen up in Saturn's moon Titan. It's a different type of water, different type of raindrops up there. But I got a different type of atmosphere up in Saturn's moon Titan. As the one in Jupiter's moon that causes a lot of volcanoes. Europa is a lot of ice. There's water underneath Europa.
Frankie, tell Coach McKnight about the earthquake you predicted back in 2016.
I did a video of myself, massive earthquake that hit New Zealand anytime soon on Friday, October 21st, 2016. 3 weeks later on Sunday, November 13th, 2016, I absolutely got my prediction right. I was all over the news. I was on RT. I was on all new global news, Maritimes. I was on the global national news. I was on CBS News, Dallas. I was all over the news, all over the world.
So we're in the presence of greatness then.
I guessed the prediction. I said 7.0 gravity magnitude and 7.8 magnitude earthquake happening in New Zealand 3 weeks later.
If you get some intuition for something bad in San Diego, tell Dylan to call me so I'll know to hide.
There'll be a lot of fires in San Diego, and if it's dry and warm, that could trigger a lot of fires. Get your fire trucks ready. Get out of the helicopters with water ready.
We've had some problem with that over the years.
Coach McKnight, you got to get a Frankie MacDonald bobblehead and an action figure and a copy of his book.
Aristotle is the person who wrote my book.
Dylan, how come you haven't written a book yet?
I don't know. I'm still figuring it out.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you've led an interesting and amazing
Right?
life. You should put some of the pictures of all the people you have met. I think people will be shocked, of the people you've come in contact with in your life and people you've made a difference in their lives.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You could be my author.
Yeah, but I don't spell real well, so you're going to have to get a better ghostwriter than me.
You know who else just showed up? Joe Stover in Churchill, Manitoba. Joe, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I've got it hands free. I actually just got a call while I was playing hockey to go fuel an airplane. So I've just been going bananas here trying to make it to the airport. So I'm hands free for right now.
The hockey playoffs now.
Who is winning the game?
Our the Churchill Hockey League has 2 teams only. So it's basically like it's like playoffs all the time.
And if everything opens up, that means they'll play against teams from Nunavut, teams from Northwest Territories like Inuvik, teams against Alaska, Yukon, even Magadan and Russia.
Oh, I'd sure love to do that. I have a
It'll be
dream.
Churchill versus Magadan.
I would love there to be a Arctic Hockey League. I think that would be so cool to have like all these teams up in the Arctic and the subarctic kind of play.
What about the Nome, Alaska? There'll be Churchill versus Nome.
Oh, I would love that. Churchill versus Nome would be awesome.
You can just skate over the ice to Russia and play them.
That
How
you
is
could just skate over the Bering Strait.
How is the weather in Churchill these days? Are you not afraid of polar bears walking around in the dark?
Oh, well, not too bad. It's not really polar bear season per se right now because they're all out in the Hudson Bay, the frozen Hudson Bay. They're eating their seals and stuff. So they'd much rather be there than stalking portly fuel man. But the weather's not bad right now. It's spring in Churchill, which means it's -2. There's no clouds in the sky right now, which is awesome, and the stars are out. It's kind of a nice time to be outside and fueling planes, and it sure beats -40 in a blizzard, that's for sure.
Warmer than
imagine?
Mars now.
Yeah.
Not very much fun.
Warmer than Mars, Pete Galanko says. Could you imagine Joe Stover gets mauled by a polar bear right on our show? Anything for ratings, eh, Joe?
Coach McKnight, I'm not sure if you know, but Joe Stover is a big Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan. You got to tease him about that.
It's really hard to tease anybody that beat you in the Grey Cup final. So I'll just humbly keep my mouth shut and say that wasn't our day, but we did take care of business twice during the regular season. We just didn't play well that day.
To be truthful, Winnipeg hadn't won in like 29 years. I mean, I was 8 years old the last time the Bombers won the cup, and I was 37 when they won last. So it's kind of nice. I wish we could have had a chance to defend the title last year, but I really hope that we get a chance to play some football this year.
It's sounding a lot like the Leafs winning the cups about when COVID might be ending as well. Any thoughts on that?
That's actually what I heard too.
COVID will end long before the Leafs even get a sniff of the cup.
I think what the lockdown in Ontario is all about right now is just getting numbers down so we can have the parade.
Yeah, well, it seems every year that they keep planning the parade. Like the question never is, how are the Leafs going to do this year? The question is always, do we start down Yonge Street or are we going to go down Dundas? That's kind of the thing. But you got to get past Boston Bruins first before you can start talking about parades and such.
Not
now,
this year.
How big a plane is it you're about to refuel?
King Air, it's a medevac that's coming up from Winnipeg. So they're coming up to Churchill, I believe, to pick somebody up. I'm not too sure. I don't see any ambulances out here yet. But usually these late night calls mean that it's always a medevac. So it's going to be a King Air 200, which is not a very big plane at all.
Like, for example, how many gallons will you put in? Or liters?
Well, yeah, liters. Thank you. I don't know anything much. I don't know much about gallon, but I'm imagining I'm probably going to put about anywhere from 600 to 800 liters of jet fuel on this.
Now, how long does that take?
It doesn't take too long. I would say, these King Airs have four ports. That's why it takes a little bit longer, because you have to fuel one tank, then you go over to the other tank, then you got to go over to the other tank. So it'll take me probably about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to do. So that's not terrible.
What's with the Detroit Tiger hat?
Oh, I've got all my family comes from southwestern Ontario and Windsor, so I'm a big Detroit fan. For whatever reason, all the rest of my family are Leaf fans and Toronto fans. I don't know where they went wrong.
Did you like the Detroit Lions?
Fortunately, yes, they're my team. I know the fight song front to back, so I guess you could say I'm a fan.
Joe, I'm not sure if you know, but you're in the presence of Coach McKnight. He's the best O-line that he's ever played at San Diego Chargers.
Oh, yeah, but my last 2 years, I played for the Detroit Lions, and when Wayne Fonts was the head coach, and Barry Sanders and Eric Kramer was the quarterback.
Oh my goodness gracious! Did you play with Mel Farr Jr. as well?
Yep.
And Mike Utley?
Yeah, God bless him. Mike Utley was horrible, when he got paralyzed. But you talk about a guy that never bitched, never said, why me? He skis, he skydives, he does everything. And he's a great guy.
Even as a little kid, for whatever reason, Churchill didn't have very many channels, but for whatever reason, Churchill had Detroit channels. We never got Minnesota channels or anything like that. It was all Detroit. So I was watching, all the highlights, and I remember as a kid when the accident happened to Mike, and the thing that still sticks with me to this day, and I think I only ever saw that highlight once, and that was the day that it happened.
was like his life had changed forever in that instant, but he left the field with a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
And that was just one of the most incredible things and it stuck with me all these years.
Did you hear anything this week, Joe, about
Jerry Glanville too.
Joe, did you hear anything this week about the Environment Canada weather station burning down in Iqaluit?
I did not hear that.
I'm just trying to find out what happened to it. If it was arson or something. I mean, why would someone burn down the weather station in Iqaluit? Maybe they're just angry about the
Probably
forecast.
like a hater of weather, right? Weather hater. Probably like a weather hater, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, I don't like the weather, what's happening right now. I'm gonna go burn down this weather station.
Yeah. Well, I sure hope that was the case because I mean, but that's the thing about northern fires. Like anybody that's ever lived in a cold climate knows that the cold really does a number on infrastructure, and it can really, it can start electrical fires. It can do all sorts of things like that.
Do you think maybe it was just the employees trying to stay warm?
I sure hope not. I sure hope not.
It's that cold. Oh, what do you got there? That's your ambulance.
Oh, there's the ambulance. So yeah, I really should get going so I can feel this. It was so nice to talk to you guys, and I can't wait to check in with you guys next week.
Right on, Joe Stover.
Brother, take care. It was a pleasure meeting you.
You too, sir. It's a real pleasure meeting you. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Brandon Hames, you've been buried for a little while. Can you, before we go, Brandon Hames, can you tell everybody about what it's like driving truck up here? Just give us an example of your day driving truck in the mountains.
And some days it can be, like super easy. Like the last week I was working, mostly nights. Actually, they're all nights. I usually look on Facebook to see what you're posting, and then I know what kind of night I'm going to have. If you say it's snowing like crazy, then I go, oh no, this is going to suck.
Well, you're hauling in the snowiest place of all. Just give us an example of some of the gnarly things that happened this winter.
We had a truck spin out on Devil's Canyon. Jackknife the road. That was fun for him.
What type of rig do you drive?
I drive a Western Star. It's 4900. They're automatics, which I'm not complaining about them. They're different. I've never really driven too much automatics before.
Well, I watch a lot of stuff on the YouTube, and they're saying the new automatics now with the Allison transmissions and everything, you'd be crazy to not, they're just so much easier and better. And the old guys don't like them, but I think I would like to drive automatic.
The 18 speeds automatics are actually pretty good, but the one I'm driving is a 6-speed automatic, and they're not too great for mountainous terrain.
Going up and down. You're restoring 2 trucks of your own. How'd you come across these trucks, Brandon?
Well, the Western Star I got from an old co-worker of mine. He parked it in his yard. It's been sitting in his yard for like 5 years. I kept on bugging him, wanting to buy it off of him. And one day he called me up and said, hey, I'll sell it to you for $1. I went and picked it up, and it has a slight engine knock. It's at my cousin's shop right now. He's looking at it. And the haze there in that picture is a 1960s, I believe. It's a twin stick, which means it has 2 transmissions.
Yep.
One on the engine and one near the differentials. That's a funny story. I picked that one up at the Dusty Trunk. You know where that is, Joey? I was a tow truck driver before, and I dropped a truck off in his back lot, and he was trying to sell me some stuff. And I asked him if he had any rigs, and he pointed to the bushes, and you could just barely make out a hood. I threw my wallet at him, and I said, take my money. Sitting in my buddy's yard. We're putting a roof on it because it snowed so much up in Wells. That's where it was for the longest time that it actually caved the roof in.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't store vehicles here. This is not the place for that. I store my stuff in Quesnel, people's farm. And you got room in the farm?
Tons of room, man.
We'll go down the list. Nice talking to you, Brandon. Thanks so much for the drum kit I get to use. You're a beauty.
I better say goodbye first because my thing's about to die. It says low battery.
So nice having you on. So nice to meet you. Really, really honored.
Yes,
nice to meet you too.
It's my second time. I just want to say thanks, Dylan, for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Coach, and you're welcome anytime.
Well, you guys are awesome, and I look forward to this damn pandemic being over and back to playing football in the CFL
and having a
soon.
beer with you.
Yes. Now, you know what me and Dylan's favorite kind of beer is?
Cold.
Absolutely. You're the first person that ever said that. People always say, oh, maybe it's, kokanee or maybe it's something. I said, no, my favorite beer is cold. I could care what it is.
I would have guessed.
Oh, there's a girl after my own heart.
My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie McDonald. My Twitch is Frankie McDonald 1984. My Instagram is Frankie McD 1984. My TikTok is Frankie McDonald 1984. My Snapchat is Frankie MACDON. My LinkedIn is Frankie McDonald. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves.
And keep staying positive, everyone. You're listening to the Joy Only Comedeorology Report. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. You won't regret it.
Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Thanks.
Any last words, Brandon?
Well, I guess I don't really have any. I kind of said everything at the beginning there. Or on the face bag, you can also follow me on @BrandonHouck, which is just a regular Facebook page, but it has over 8,000 followers. So I just decided to keep it. So
wow, that's crazy.
And we have a lot of fun there. Oh yes, we play a lot of big games.
We'd really love it if you'd come on more and more shows and keep giving us updates from Southern Alberta and talking weather and just being yourself, because hey, you're a beauty.
Yes, true,
Keep your stick
man.
on the air. Gabriel, last words from you.
Yes.
TikTok, I have about 7.7 thousand followers on there. Twitter, right? I only have about two, I think, 100 followers. I'm not like huge yet there, but I am followed by like obviously my favorite people. By Mark the Storm Hunter, followed by Jacqueline Widow and all of those people, all those weather people and everything. It's really fun to hang out with you guys and everything, right? Hopefully I could hop on next time. Hopefully I could. I have to look at my schedule.
Mark and Jacqueline have been saying that they will come on at some point, so you never know when you'll catch them. If it wasn't a thunderstorm day, we probably would have had Mark today, but he was out. I've been talking to him, but definitely let him know that you had fun.
I actually have interviewed him, and it was like let's see, it was like a 35-minute interview, right? I interviewed him and everything, and it was like obviously over Google Meet or like a Zoom call, right? And it was fun to get to know him and everything, right? And he was like my idol, man. Like I used to watch him on like the news and everything, like wondering like, man, will I ever even meet that man? And it's just like now I'm like close to that guy, and I'm gonna like meet him like this, hopefully this summer under a storm. Shout out to Mark Robinson. Send this to him. Make sure, man. I love that guy so much. Make sure that he sees this. You better make sure.
David Roy Parsons, we haven't said goodbye to you yet. Any last words?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, by the way, Gabriel. You're beautiful.
It's gonna rain all day tomorrow. Then expecting a really warm week after that.
I can't wait.
Apparently, lots of fun, and I'm gonna start a garden.
For everyone in Prince George listening to CFR 88.7 FM, Dylan and Frankie have a television show in Hamilton. You can see that Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific time on www.cable14.com. Who's on the show this week, Dylan?
I believe it's Michael Del Zarto from the Columbus Blue Jacket and Lisa J from the Magic School Bus, I believe.
Nice.
Bass guy was on it today.
And bass guy, yeah.
Oh yeah, right on. So when am I going to be on it?
Your next, you might get bass guy's doing busy.
You're coming on soon. Don't worry.
Season 13. Yeah. Any last words this week, Frankie? Frankie MacDonald, the man.
Best luck. Yeah, I'm Frankie MacDonald. You're listening to Comedeorological Report.
Right on. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks so much for coming on the show, and I hope to see a lot of you next time.
Yeah.
You just never know who we're going to get. It's going to be fun. Tell us a joke, Frankie.
Comedeorological report.
Frankie's already calling me. They're already
Frankie's calling me too.
All right, that's a sign. You're listening to the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology equals Comedeorology. And this is your place to hear just how bad the weather sucks. Thanks for coming on, everybody, and thanks for listening. Prince George, CFR 88.7 FM. And anybody out there, if you know a radio station that should be broadcasting us, talk to them, because we need to be on their stations. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather or not. There it is.